All right, so we have another history lesson today. The streets of London, Ralph McTell. We're checking this out thanks to Kevin Cooper. There's been a bunch of versions. When I look this up on YouTube, I see here it says this is the best version. The song was inspired by McTell's experiences busking. I actually don't even know what the word busking means. Street performance. Got it. Hitchhiking throughout Europe, especially Paris, and the individual stories are taken from Parisians. He was originally going to call the song Streets of Paris, but eventually London was chosen because he realized he was singing about London. Let me actually avoid reading much more into it. Let's listen to it, go through the lyrics. The song is 7 minutes long, so I will try to avoid doing too many pauses and things like that because this is a reaction video. As you know, we have to transform the piece of art. And so we can do that through commentary and things as such. We'll try to keep those pauses when we do them to a minimum. I'll try to feel out for a natural time to do so. Maybe we'll talk more about our takeaways after we finish the song, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Before I hit play, let me know why you wanted to join me in listening to this historical piece. Again, this is from, the song was written in 1969, came out 1974, it said here. So excited to hear from you. Again, comment down below and let's hang out virtually together. Let's do it. Beautiful folk feel.
Have you seen the old man in the closed down market? Kicking up the paper with his worn out shoes. In his eyes you see no pride, and held loosely at his side yesterday's paper telling yesterday's news. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. Show you something to make you change your mind.
Wow. Oh gosh. Right off the bat, the message he's sharing. Dude, I feel like such an entitled little piece of crap when I'm complaining about, oh, my 4-month-old baby. Yeah, he's doing all this grunting and keeping us up, and I'm getting I've gotten screwed over at like work in my career past couple of years. Well, why make myself a victim? It's not like I did everything I could to avoid that, but I have a job. Yeah, geez. Just right off the bat, I know I'm gonna be feeling a lot of things listening to this.
Have you seen the old girl who walks the streets of London? Dirt in her hair and her clothes in rags. She's no time for talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home in 2 carrier bags. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. Show you something to make you change your mind.
Man. That's beautiful. Everything you want in a folk song.
In the all-night cafe at 11:15, same old man sitting there on his own, looking at the world over the rim of his teacup. Each tea lasts an hour and he wanders home alone. So how can you tell me that you're lonely and you say for you that the sun don't shine?
Kind of a little transition there from it.
Let me take you by the hand and lead you.
This is actually kind of
the
fun.
streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind.
Well, it's kind of fun to see what a TV spot would have been.
Have you seen the old man outside the seaman's mission? Memory fading with the metal ribbons that he wears. And in our winter city, the rain cries a little pity for one more forgotten hero and a world that doesn't care. So how can
This is kind of cool. So it's just a mashup of a bunch of different versions of the song. Let's keep listening to it. I want to see what it's like. Yeah, because the original song was just 2-3 minutes long. There's a version here of Ralph McTell with John Williams. Fascinating. The melody with the lyrics with the feel, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, I'm just going through here and it's like a super famous song. And because of its legendary status and his legendary status, he's gone on a bunch of shows to perform it. You have Glenn Campbell, someone who we've discovered on the channel, go and perform it. I want to keep listening through these. I have fond memories. There was a house that me and my friends lived at here in Utah. We lived right by the liquor store, and we always had some homeless folks who would kind of like, pass out on our driveway and on our lawn. And we didn't mind. We gave them a bunch of our clothes, and man, at some point we were on a first name basis with one of them, and I can't remember his name. He struggled a lot with, he clearly was struggling with some sort of schizophrenic, tendencies, but he was also able to still be kind. So it was just sad, and I would say, like, during this time, 60s, 70s, the homeless situation was quite different. Well, maybe not. I read like Michael Schallenberger's book, San Francisco, which was really insightful with this thing. Yeah, it's a great song for some perspective, huh? Let's keep seeing these renditions. Like, again, how weird is it to you guys that I've never heard this song before?
And just say for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind.
Were you ever tempted to call the streets of London the streets of Paris, Ralph?
This is it
was going to be that. And I had it in my mind that would have a lovely ring to it. And then I started thinking, somebody reminded me there was a song called The Poor People of Paris, or a tune called The Poor People of Paris. And I thought, well, if this situation is not just confined to this city, it's everywhere. And London, which I know even better, has just the same characters, different in a different circumstance, different location.
I mean, very, very insightful. I grew up in 6 different countries. The song applies everywhere. You know what I mean? Sure, even though maybe I grew up in more, third world, we lived in areas that were like, I'm super privileged. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this message hits home no matter what. But I love that he's in Paris here. I'm sure I've told you guys. I followed my wife to a family trip that they had in Paris. Her parents let me crash this visit, and it's because I went and proposed to my wife, so we got engaged in Paris. I know, pretty sweet. I forgot my green card in the US. So I needed my brother and my dad to break into my apartment and mail it to me. So I had to spend an extra, I forget how long, but I had to find like a cheap pad in Paris. And so I did roam the streets of Paris for a long time. So if anything, with the song having been called that originally, it hits different too,
So I just started reworking it. But I have, hand on heart, I don't think it would have been written had I not been here. And certainly the tune was here. I remember I mentioned earlier about all the musicians around. It was a guitar player called Gary Peterson who said to me, "That's such a pretty tune, man. You should write some words to it, And so it started off about Paris and metamorphosed into London,
When you wrote it, you were part of an alternative culture, but the song went on to achieve mass appeal. How does that make you feel?
A little bit weird, actually, yeah. I would have liked it to have been a bit more left field, than that. But, if it is viewed as a pop song, let's hope it's a pop song that makes people have a think.
Yeah.
Because there's a wonderful world of music and words out there that aren't just, what they sound like when you first hear them. They're worth looking at again.
Do you believe the song will outlive you?
I think it will, yeah. I do. I mean, I don't want it to sound vain, but I just, you know, people still covering it. You know, it's still picking up the odd cover version even now. And I also have the added little pleasure of knowing that the song is actually used as a teaching aid, not just in schools now, but for young guitar players. You'd be amazed how many rock and roll, hard-bitten
that
rock
must
and roll
be cool.
You know, it's the first tune I ever learned to play, and I think, oh really? Oh, that's quite nice as well.
I kind of.
At
first, I was a little bummed with this video being a mashup of things, but this is actually kind of nice.
Somehow, so I'm pretty pleased about that.
So how can you tell me that you're lonely? And you say for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind.
That was beautiful. Frankly, it kind of just goes perfectly with us editing this video. Do you know what? I love everything about the song. I'm just upset I haven't heard it before. The main thing that, you know, that I'm feeling right now, especially with us doing these videos and hanging out together, wow, do I want to spend a good amount of time with my kids teaching them proper music history. My dad taught me great stuff, especially on the drives that we had. You know, I have memories of us listening to like Norah Jones. He showed me a lot of Norah Jones and Louis Armstrong. My dad and I, though, we listened to a lot more classical music together, which again, I think it's why I have some sort of insight and thoughts into music that we check out together. But you have to remember, like the time and where my dad grew up, we kind of missed out on a lot of this. And so this has just been so fun. What memories are triggered for you when you listen to Streets of London? That's a question I want to put up to you guys and ask you all. Would love to hear. Beautiful song. Geez, I can't believe I never listened to this until today. How about that?